and our internet. What's new, Cape Cod? Every morning we ask and you answer. This is Stephanie in the Morning, where locals take the mic. Your neighbor, your favorite shop owner, maybe you. Business, community, culture, and whatever's on your mind over coffee. Let's start the day together. Powered by Lemonadio. Hello and good morning. I'm so happy to have you guys. Our schedule is finally aligned. I've got this business software that I'm like, I'm going to help myself because if I don't write it down, it's gone forever and I'll never remember it again, as I'm sure you understand what that's like.
Yes.
Allie. So we finally got it together. I've got Allie Garoche on the show with us today. She's the executive director of Foster Closet Cape Cod. And also Holly Seaver is here, who is involved in so many ways. Not only are you a nurse, you're an author, but you're a foster parent yourself. So thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so snuggle up next to the microphones because I don't know how we sound to the public. Give me a thumbs up, everybody, and somebody needs to be turned up. Just let me know. It's a community here. We're doing it together.
That's right.
So maybe, Allie, start talking about the program that you've got and all of the volunteers you must work with all the time.
Yes, we work. So we are entirely volunteer run, except for myself and one other person. And we were founded 5 years ago in 2021 by Sharon and Andy Palmer. And they're East Ham residents and had fostered for about 7 years.
Okay.
And they were realizing, we're not going to be able to foster forever. They found it an incredibly meaningful experience. Andy is a world-renowned hand surgeon and has said to me and others that fostering has been the most impactful thing that he's done in his life.
Incredible.
And so they were thinking, what else can we do to support more kids? We can only have one or two in our home. We know we're not going to do this forever. And they realized that the sort of simplest and easiest way that they could make a difference was by providing clothing and other essential goods at the moment that a child enters foster care. So, you hear these stories, and Holly's maybe lived this as a foster parent herself. I know our founders certainly have. When you're a foster parent, you get a phone call, you agree to take a child, and you have no idea what they're going to bring.
Yeah.
With them. Sometimes they're able to bring a lot of things that are important to them. Unfortunately, a lot of times they're not. Mm-hmm. And occasionally they are bringing clothing that is in a trash bag or just the clothing that's on their body. Sometimes they're bringing things that don't fit. They don't have a toothbrush. They, as a foster parent, you might get a baby unexpectedly and need a crib for them that you don't have in your home. And so in our founding, we were like, we're there for that moment.
Okay.
We're going to get you what you need within 24 hours and often a lot sooner. And we've grown a lot since then. Mm-hmm. So we now support foster and kinship families kind of on an ongoing basis. So at the moment that a child enters your home, we're there for you. We got you. We'll set you up with a week's worth of outfits, all your basic essentials for that child with dignity and items that fit. And you can shop with us on an ongoing basis. So, we know kids grow.
I was
really
like, wait a
quickly.
minute, what? Kids grow? That's weird. There's one summer where I think my son went through 4 sizes of shoe. I can't imagine what that's like for someone that's not even like dealing with that on a regular basis.
Yes.
And what that looks like in your wallet. It's hard.
Totally. And, they grow fast and, these kids are going through their clothes quickly too.
Yeah.
You take one pair of sneakers or one pair of shorts to school or to preschool one day, you come back and you're ready for another pair.
But you guys also work collaboratively with so many other organizations just to get it to the kids. I think it's really important to make this messaging. I only support Caitlin's Closet or Kind Hearts for Kids. They're all working together.
Yes. That's right.
You can only be in so many places. People forget how geographically large the Cape is.
Yeah.
And to stretch that whole space and to work collaboratively with so many wonderful organizations that are doing like projects. Because I don't know if you really understand, the need is real.
It is real.
Talk about how many families you have been serving. I mean.
Yeah. So last year we served 380 kids, individual kids, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And we, some of those kids have got clothing throughout the year. Some of those kids one time, they maybe enter foster care and then move unfortunately off Cape or something, and we don't see them again. Some of those kids are just coming to our family fun events. So we also offer a series of events out in the community with partner organizations just to bring the families together. And that was, I think, the largest number of kids that we've supported to date. So on any given month, there's around 130, 150 kids in foster care on the Cape and Islands. And that obviously fluctuates as kids reunify, as kids move into adoption, as kids move into guardianship. So that gives a sense of the community that we might serve, but that number also doesn't include grandparents.
Yes.
Which there has been more discussion recently about the importance of caring for our grandparents who are raising their grandchildren.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of grandparents raising their grandchildren.
Well, and once again, they're stepping up to do a job that needs to be done. However, the longevity of that scenario is not always as great as we'd like it to be.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a great grandparent.
That's incredible.
And she is raising, I'm going to say 3.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Holly, how did you get involved in this organization?
I got involved because I was a foster parent and still am.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to the end of our foster journey. We have now adopted 3 children. But I had started out as a nurse in working at Gosnold in addiction recovery. And I would have patients come in and just to, sort of ease their stress and the discomfort about coming into a facility for addiction recovery services. I would make small talk with them and I'd say, oh, where are you from? And, what about your family? And ask them questions like that. And I always said to them, do you have any children? And they would say yes. And more times than not, they would say the children were in foster care.
Yeah.
So that just stayed with me. I just couldn't shake that idea that these kids were, the fallout from the opiate problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a little more research, my husband and I, and we jumped into it with both feet. Took the
Not
classes.
a light decision, by the way.
No, it is
welcoming
not.
a human into your home that you're going to be the best person for. That's a heavy.
It is. We love kids.
It's not like come
though.
over for a sleepover. I'll make popcorn. It's very different.
Well, we had an empty nest. We had a little extra time, a little extra energy, and, a little extra money. And so we said, let's get into this. And at first we did short-term foster care where the kids needed like an interim place before they might move on to another family member or a long-term foster home. And so we did. And one night my husband lost his mind and said, why don't we do some long-term foster care? And we took in some long-term fosters at that point. Our first long-term placement was 3 lovely girls, just fell in love with them. We had them for 9 months and they got to go home and we're still friends to this day.
That's incredible.
So then after that, we COVID hit, we took a break. And
that had to have been devastating for so many fosters, parents.
It was, because then there was like, nobody's moving. Everybody's going to stay where they are. That's it. Nobody moved around. And also you didn't have the mandated reporting because the kids weren't in school. The kids weren't in school. They weren't going for the regular physician visits and things like that. So if there's something that wasn't right at home, then nobody found out about it. So that was very, very difficult for the foster care community. And eventually they did call us and ask us to take a little girl. And we said yes. She was supposed to be there for 2 weeks. And when she came, she had garbage bags full of clothes.
Awful.
And none of them fit. So I had found out that the foster closet had recently started on the Cape because other than that, we used to have to go off Cape to get clothing and supplies for these kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out the foster closet had started. I drove out to Orleans and everybody there couldn't have been nicer. They walked me around. They asked me about favorite colors and sizes and do you need this and do you need that? I walked out of there with enough clothes for this child for the entire summer.
Incredible.
I didn't have to pay for them. I didn't have to go shopping. I didn't have to run around to different stores and whatever. They just took care of it and it was just wonderful. So then I said, gee, I want to be involved in this organization. I want to give back because they've given so much to us. And since then we've adopted that young lady now and her sister, and we adopted one more. So in the foster closet's been great. Not only do they service, provide services to foster families, but also to kinship families, grandparents raising grandchildren, and if you've adopted those families as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of different scenarios in which people are finding themselves in the care of others at this point in time.
Yes.
Jen Christian, good morning to you. Hello. Car seat mama has a great
Yes.
working relationship with Foster Closet.
She
Awesome.
does.
Yes, we love Jen.
Matt Levat, good morning. Inspiring. Keep up the good work. Good morning, Miss Kathy. Thanks for joining us. And Mike, thanks for being on the show. We've got Ali Garoche with us, the executive director of the Cape Cod Foster Closet, and also Holly Seaver, author, nurse, and foster mama extraordinaire. How are you feeling as you're saying that you're coming to the end of this space? How tough is that?
As a foster
Yeah,
parent?
as a foster, like
Well,
when
what-
your time is nearing.
Well, we've got the 3 girls, so
Yeah.
that kind of keeps us busy a little bit. And I do volunteer for the foster closet. I do events, things like that, which not only bring the kids together for fun activities, but also give the parents, the foster parents, the kinship parents, some time to interact and to share resources with each
Amazing.
other. And then what I've decided I can do, even if I can't take in another child, we're kind of running out of beds, is that to come alongside some of these other foster parents or kinship parents and just be a friend to them, just be a support
That
to them.
network, that community is so important.
Just to have somebody to talk to and to say, oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. And what did you do about this? And what did you do about that?
Yeah.
So yeah, just to be a support for each other.
That's incredible. That network of support
It
is
is.
so important. So if anything that's resonating with you right now, and maybe you need a little bit of support, please reach out to these ladies right here. I've dropped in the chat the website in which you can get involved. And there are many other ways. Can we talk a little bit about eligibility? Because I think maybe someone is watching going, maybe me, I don't know.
Yeah, so we have really sort of low threshold for eligibility. You don't need to be referred by anyone. If you are caring for a child 0 to 18 that is not your biological child, you are eligible for support. So you don't need a referral from your social worker or from the probate court if you have guardianship. Please just give us a call, reach out on Facebook or Instagram. We're here for you. And I think, if you don't need clothing, that's okay. Come be a part of the community, get connected. As Holly said, it makes a huge difference to be able to walk alongside other people who are doing this thing.
I think it's a great way to wade your toe into that if you're, thinking about fostering and you're not ready to get involved quite at that level yet, to get involved with other families that are currently, just so you know what you're in for too.
Totally. And yeah, I mean, of course, Holly and I are out there saying we need more foster parents.
I'm sure we always do, right?
We always do. And even though, the Department of Children and Families is really prioritizing placing with kin, because that is, research shows that's what's best for kids. If that's a good option, we will still always need foster parents. And we have kids on Cape that are going off Cape. We have kids who their home communities on the island and they are going off to the Cape or often off Cape. And, it is enough of a trauma to have to be removed from your home environment, from your parents. And then you add on leaving your school community, leaving your friends, leaving some other trusted adults who are in the community. That's another level. And so, I will always say to folks, if you're considering fostering, now is the time to really, figure out if that's the next step for you. And if it's not, if that's not the right fit for your family, there are so many other ways to get involved and support these kids and support these families who are doing the hard work. One of them is by getting involved in our organization. And as Stephanie said, there are so many partner organizations too that are doing other pieces of the puzzle, whether that's, providing camps or providing bedroom makeovers like our friends over at Colorful Kids.
Oh my gosh. Karen's so amazing.
She's awesome.
She's in my husband's business group. We were just talking to her and she had popped over at the farmer's market this week. But Karen's is just amazing. Like, way to make somebody feel like home. And if you don't know about their organization, definitely check that out.
Totally.
Yes.
Because it's all one big ecosystem, right? You need to support each other.
That's
That's
right.
right.
And financially.
And we have a wonderful resource that's available through the Cape Cod Foster Closet, which is the Family Resource List. This is 18 pages of resources that are out there for people who have adopted, who are fostering, kinship families, guardianship families, and some families that just need a little help with the kids. And it's 18 pages. Get a copy of it. Send an email to, what is it, Cape Cod Foster Closet.com. .org. And yeah, get a copy of it and look through it. There's so many resources in here that can help if you're raising someone else's child.
Angie, thanks for joining us on the show this morning. Really happy to have Allie and Holly with us. And financial support always is a good thing. You're doing a creative financial support where you're flexing a little bit of your artistry, giving something back that you like to do. So Holly has created a couple of children's books.
I have, yes. There was a story that I kept telling the foster kids when they first came to our house about how we got our 2 cats.
Yeah.
And they had been living in an unsafe environment, and then they went into someone's home, and then they couldn't stay at that home very long, and they had to go into a shelter, and finally they made their way to us here on Cape Cod. And it was a wonderful way to tell the kids that, yes, you might have some bumps and some stops along the way, but eventually, the goal is for you to find your forever home. So I put it down in a book because I thought other foster families or other kinship families might be able to use it as a resource. And it is called Jack and Max and the Happy Home, a Foster Care Story. And it's available on Amazon, and I send all the profits to the Cape Cod Foster Closet. Then a friend of mine said, gee, wouldn't it be nice if someone would write a book about children going into multicultural or multiracial families? And so I also wrote this book, My New Home and Me, and it has a broader reach. It's for kids that are not only in foster or adoptive homes, but kids that are in blended families, kids that are being raised by their grandparents, and like I said, multicultural and multiracial families. And we want to normalize that. 40% of U.S. kids do not grow up in their intact biological family. These kids are, like I said, some end up in foster and adoptive care, but some are going into blended families. Some are going to be raised by their grandparents. And we want to normalize that this is okay for kids. It's okay if your family doesn't look like the, quote unquote, normal mom, pop, sister, brother family.
Yeah.
We want these kids
does?
to know. We want these kids to know it's okay, and you're special and you're valued. And if you're moving into a family and there's people that don't look like you and their food is different and their home is different, it's okay, and you can meet that challenge and you're going to be all right in the end. So I wrote this book as well, and this is also available on Amazon, and also all the profits are donated to the Cape Cod Foster Closet because they've helped us out so much.
I love that. And they're really good stories to give the kids to just say, hey, the cats are just such a great analogy. Right?
Are,
It's
yes.
so relatable.
Yes. And sometimes it's easier to open up that conversation when
Right?
it's not straight on. It's easier
Yes.
to talk about Jack and Max. It's easier to talk about the kittens than what these kids are going through. I know, we love that. Thank you, Holly.
If you've got questions
very
about the
welcome.
foster closet, please drop them in the chat or reach out to Allie afterwards. Holly, anything else that you really want to talk about of your experience working with this organization? Or, you're a nurse and you're like, all right, I'm still going to keep doing this. You've chosen children's books over nursing. I love it.
Well,
It's impactful.
When they say it takes a village to raise a child, it is so true. We really need to come together and support each other. If you're not going to foster or adopt, then find ways to help out. You can become a visiting family resource through DCF. If you know somebody that's fostering, you go through a little bit of training, and they come and they have a conversation with you and check out your home and that kind of thing. And that's it. It's not a long process. And you can be somebody that comes alongside a foster, adoptive, grandparent-led family and be a help to them. There's also a wonderful organization I'd like to mention, which is through the Cape Cod Council of Churches. It's called Covenant for Care. They will train people to come into your home and basically be a babysitter. You still have to be there, but be a babysitter so that you can go take a bath, clean a closet,
Well,
put your feet up
yeah.
for 5 minutes, and they will come into your house and just give you a break. And that's a wonderful organization as well. And that's also in our family resource booklet as well.
That's fabulous. And that's an aspect that I never really even thought about. You know, we talk to parents of newborns all the time about self-care and getting naps and doing all of that. But if you've been thrust into a relationship that you're just not ready, you're never ready for something immediately. You know what I mean? Even when you plan for the best or have the best intentions, there's always those moments where you do need to have that moment to be like, what, am I okay? Are they okay? is this can I brush my hair today? Little stuff, you know?
Yes.
The little stuff counts for a lot. Yeah,
It does.
It does. And it's like, some of these kids have some significant trauma and behaviors.
They do.
And if they are creating a really solid relationship with their foster parent or with their grandparent who's raising them, it can be hard to leave. It can be hard to take a break. It can be hard to ask another person to step in. And so, there are all of these solutions that this community's come up with for being present that also allows, that child to still get the support that they might need on an ongoing basis.
It's a tremendous amount of pressure you put on yourself, though. You're like, when you decide I'm going to do this, I'm going to foster, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm way overhead. Then the stress, right?
Yes.
And the stress, absolutely. And you have a social worker that gets assigned to you when you foster, and they are there to walk you through the process of licensing, which can be lengthy, which we like to tell folks. You might be listening today, I hope so, and say, I've always thought about fostering. I'm going to start that process. And it might take some time because they come in, they, sort of do a deep dive into who lives in your home, to make sure that it's a safe environment for kids. But they are there with you after that as well, supporting you along the journey. And then, you have to find your community. And I think for our kinship caregivers, that can be even harder because they don't have the time of going through the licensing. In many ways, they're not choosing this for their family. It's
right.
It's not a choice when your loved one is being removed, and you may not ever see them again. You step up. Because that's what you do for family. And so we try to be there so that those caregivers know too that there's other people that have their back.
Well, it's more than just a closet. I feel like when people hear closet, it's just clothes. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's not just that.
That's right. Yeah. The clothes in some ways are so critical, so important. I mean, we always like to say, it's like an easy sell, put clothes on kids. This is a basic need. And at the same time, it's an entry point for these families, especially folks who might not be comfortable asking for help. I get that.
Nobody wants to ask for help. No one does.
Nobody. I've been there myself.
Yeah.
I cared for 2 young children, fostered with my partner, and we were just like, we're going to do this all ourselves. And you get in that situation and realize, wow, no, I need
I do in fact need help.
I do not need help. And if getting free clothing is a way to get somebody through the door, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if we're able to support them getting connected to other resources, if we're able to just be a listening ear. I mean, sometimes we have caregivers come in who just need to take a load off for 30 minutes and tell our wonderful volunteers what they're going through. And we're just there to say, wow, we see you. You're doing
incredibly
amazing
underrated,
thing.
by the way, is just listening to somebody. Sometimes I created a whole morning show routine just so I can get my therapy out. I can also have a tether to the community. Good morning, Miss Serafina. Serafina walked right into it. I think she created your logo or some sort of.
Yes.
Yeah. So she walked into it on Thursday or last week when I was like, hey, I need someone to host a show with me. You're it. So thank you very much. It takes a village all of the time to get all of this information out. Yeah, we're talking to Ali Garoche of Foster Closet, and we're also talking to Holly Siever. She's an author, and she is officially a Family Connections Coordinator.
Yes. That's so important that we have activities for the kids year round that are that go through the Cape Cod Foster Closet. That's my role there, is to give the kids something fun to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the parents get to talk.
Yeah.
So while the kids are bowling or they're listening to a magician or something like that, the parents can come aside and say, "Oh, I've got this problem. How did you solve it? Oh, I know about this resource. Call them or reach out to these people and they'll help you." So we have to connect. We have to be that village to help these kids, whether like I said, whether you're directly fostering or you've adopted or you're a grandparent or a kinship parent. We need to come alongside each other and help each other and support each other. Just like you said, just listen sometimes.
Yeah. It's so important.
I'll tell a little story too about what Holly's talking about. So recently we had a family fun event, and we were, Holly, you got to remind me, Miss Lori and
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what is Miss Lori's
Son.
son? Yes, and Tim.
He's the best.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
So we had a Nerf games event for the kids, and we had, a few families there. And while the kids were out playing, caregivers were just sitting there chatting.
Yes.
Holly pulled out our resource list and said, "Hey, if you haven't looked at it recently, take a peek." And one of our adoptive parents, who has adopted 3 young children, I think they're all under 7. Woo.
God bless.
God bless. Was like, you know what? We're really
It's the Hunger
struggling
Games.
with.
It's like, ooh.
Yes.
I know, because I lived it. I'm allowed to say it. My mother of 5 over here in a blended family. It was a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was like, we're having a lot of trouble finding financial support for activities for the kids this summer.
So expensive. Like ice skates or basketball
Yes.
shoes, or I remember just barely scraping by, and we had 2 full-time incomes and an
Yes.
extra, like we were okay, and we still could barely do it between
right.
all the activities.
Yes.
Totally. And in this economy as well, so hard. We want to support our local organizations that are
Yeah.
doing this amazing work. So we were like, we ran through some of the resources that really only support foster parents. Okay, not eligible because she's adoptive. And we were, chewing on it and thought, oh yeah, wait, what about the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod? They have some support. So we connected her with them. She put in an application, and all 3 kids have been able to do their activity this
So
summer.
amazing.
Yes. The other one is the Youth Athletic Foundation. They are wonderful, absolutely wonderful. They will either pay directly to the sport or the activity or the art lessons, music lessons, or you can pay for the lessons and they will pay you back. They're a wonderful organization because, like you said, it's hard enough to raise kids, feed them, clothe
Right?
them, all
Yeah,
that kind
basic
of thing.
needs.
This
Food, clothes,
organization
okay,
is
check.
for anybody who has a need and wants to give their kid a little something extra, like I said, a sport, an activity, a lesson.
Don't
They're
negate
fabulous.
enrichment at all. It's so important to child's development is to do something, an activity of sorts that we overlook it, right? We think it's expendable. We can cut it because we have to.
Yes.
And you really don't have to if you look and find some resources. So I love that. That's what you're connecting
Yes.
families with, because it's
Yes.
so important.
Yes, and that's just, like I said, it's not just for foster, adoptive, kinship families. That organization, Youth Athletic Foundation, they're for anybody.
Yeah, tethered to a team is like invaluable for these
is.
kids. It's more belonging for them.
Yes.
So
That's right. Yeah, and an outlet.
yeah, big time. How do people get involved? What is a great way? Do you have an activity or an event coming up, or
We do.
Yeah, we do. So we, as I said at the beginning, we're almost entirely volunteer run. We're always looking for folks to join our volunteer team. We have a store. Our original store is in Orleans.
Okay.
So we're close to the Rotary, and then we also opened a satellite store in East Falmouth about a year ago now.
Perfect.
So we're inside the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. They have been so generous to offer us a space there. So now this side of the Cape has a more easily accessible place to come and get their needs.
Love it.
So folks can volunteer at either of our stores. We have people who deliver items across the Cape because sometimes it's 45 minutes to get to us,
Yes.
and a caregiver who
That
is
could be
getting a
going
new
one
kid.
town away.
Yes, they could be going one town away. Totally. And then we also do giveaway events and the family fun events that we've been talking about. We need volunteers to help support that as well. Obviously, financial support is always huge for us meeting our, bread and butter of keeping our organization running and make sure the quality of the clothing we're providing is high. We do take donations from the community as well. So if you have like new clothing that doesn't show any signs of wear, any sizes from infant all the way up to adult 3XL, we are happy to receive your donations. We do have, it has to be teen friendly, kid friendly, but we have our own process of going through. So please come find us at one of our stores. Consider donating, consider holding a supply drive, or volunteering with us. There's a bunch of ways to get involved.
Right now there's the back to school event.
I can only imagine what that looks like in 2026 right now. I've got one that's going into his senior year, and I'm so thankful that this will be my official last back to school.
Yes.
I mean, the college thing is a little different.
Yeah.
But it'll be like, I'm slightly sad about it.
You'll be looking at a laptop purchase for next year.
We know. The Mac, I get a Mac, right? And I'm like, oh, God. And my wallet cries. Emily, if you want to donate all of those little people's clothes, East Falmouth and Orleans, by the way, if you're looking for that.
Right.
Yeah, because she's got one that is growing and one that's about to be 3. Congratulations. Good luck to you, Mama. Back to school drive.
Yes. So every year we host an annual back to school event, and our Cape Cod Foster Closet spin on it is that we allow the kids to select the backpack they want, the supplies they want, and we give a new pair of sneakers to every child.
Amazing.
So fun.
Instead of pre-packing, which has a lot of advantages for organizations logistically, we spread all the supplies and the backpacks out and say, pick what you want. If you love green, get green. If you love Paw Patrol, get Paw Patrol. So we're actively looking for donations for that.
Yes.
We promise families all new. So if you want to go out, or if you're at TJ Maxx or your favorite store and like, oh, wow, there's a great deal.
There's so many great sales right now. So buy one for the kid and then buy an extra one you can drop off at the closet, which I think is great.
Yes. And, contact us if our open hours don't work for your schedule. We're always happy to make it work and find a time or a place to meet you if you want to make a donation.
And then they have a little agency too. They get to go shopping. It's fun.
It is fun.
And the aftermath is not so fun, but that'll get you through Christmas. Putting it all back together.
I used to do that with my kids. I would take them out before we fostered. I would take the kids out and say, well, you're going to pick out something for yourself, but you're going to pick out something for someone else. It's a wonderful way to teach children that they're even if they're financially sound and their family doesn't have any troubles or anything like that, let's care about somebody else. So, like you said, buy one, get one backpack, let them buy one for themselves, and let them look for one for somebody else and then donate it.
It's a common misconception that people think, oh, Cape Cod, they don't need help. Oh, they don't have, it's mind-boggling the amount of nonprofits and people that need support that where we live, and they are your next door neighbor and you might not even know it. So please just jump in and help wherever it is that you can. Final closing words. Holly, put out your books on the counter and show people so people can see them. Definitely go and grab a copy of those. You should do a book signing. Maybe you should pop up at the market.
Maybe I should.
Love that idea.
That would be great.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because like I said, this is a true story. So I didn't come up with this myself. And this was a story that a friend of mine suggested. And I said, oh, somebody should do that. And it ended up being me. And all the profits go to the Cape Cod Foster Closet.
Incredible. And you also have that book of resources. Where can that be found at?
Our website, capecodfostercloset.org.
Anything you want to say before you leave, Allie?
Just thank you so much for this opportunity to share about our work. And we're so grateful. We have huge community support, and as Holly said, it takes a village. So thanks for being a part of our village.
Thank you, my ladies. What do you got going on today, everybody? Something fun. I hope you work it into your schedule, your calendar. I think tonight we've got Callie, who's over at Timber Axe Bar. There's axe throwing, then there's bowling. And if you want to do a free activity and just hang out, we've got music bingo. So you can go hang out with her, Timber Axe Bar in Falmouth. Always looking for something fun to do. You can follow us on events on capecod.com, where we've got a group of 15,000 people and growing every single day. And that's you adding your events to the calendar calendar. This is totally a free resource. So drop that in there. So yes, if you've got a family, if you're visiting, or if you've got a church group that's doing something fun and cool that you're raising money for, all of those are a yes. Your garage sale, probably not a yes. I had to go in there and excavate today, as I like to call it. And I was like, sir, not an event. No. Like, you know what it is an event and what is not an event. No promotions, please. All right. Anything else? I think we're going to go off on our day. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh my gosh, this is what we're here for. If you've seen the show and you're like, I can add on, or I've got something that I've got to talk to, please book a time. Scheduling's a little wonky right now, but we'll eventually get you on the calendar. And we are booking through September, October right now. So move fast is all I have to say about that one. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.